I set myself a challenge. I'm going to be stuck on this little island for the next 12 hours to explore it and try to survive by catching a fish and eating it. Let's get started with this video. Yeah, fish. First bite on the first cast. Wow, the ruins.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Today we're back with a really special video. I'm by the sea in Brittany, and just behind me you can see a peninsula that was especially fortified during World War II. And I'm going to set myself a little challenge. I'm going to stay stuck on this island for 12 hours. Right now it's low tide, so I can get there. But in a few hours the tide will rise, and I'll be completely stuck. It's a phenomenon that often happens here with tourists during the summer. They go off to explore the island and get caught by the tide. Often helicopters and firefighters come to rescue them, and since I was a kid, I've wondered if I could use a fishing rod to stay on the island, make a meal, and survive. So that's kind of the goal for the next 12 hours, to stay stuck on the island, fully immersed, and try to catch a nice fish to make a good meal for myself and for Alexandre, who's behind the camera. Come on, let's go. The sea is rising really fast. I can see it on the right and on the left. It won't be long before it closes in and forms the island. You can also see here, look at this. These are the remains from the time when the Nazis came to build the bunkers on the peninsula. This is an old footbridge that used to allow access to the island during especially high tides. And here you can clearly see the rebar. It's reinforced concrete, it's incredible. And they're also good fishing spots. And right now there's a lot of wind coming from over there. So it's going to be complicated to fish here, there are way too many waves. On the other hand, the advantage of the island is that there's a completely sheltered side, over there on the right. And that's where I'm going to try to get to start fishing.
Ah, magnificent.
Now I'm definitely in the sheltered part of the island. The wind will calm down a little later, and when the tide rises, I'll be able to fish all around the island. Now the plan is to begin in the calm area, because out in front of the island there are huge waves and a lot of wind. It could be dangerous and complicated for fishing. We'll get closer to the spot. Here, I'm completely sheltered actually by the top of the island and the bunkers actually. That's really what blocks the wind. And now, this whole area we can see, well, in a few hours, all of this will be completely underwater. And we can imagine where the fish will be able to swim, all the spots where they'll come to feed, because under every rock there are little crabs, in the pools there are gobies, there are shrimp, and all this life will come out when the sea rises. It's already started, so the fish should be getting active now. That's why I'm going to show you the technique here at the spot. At sea, to start fishing, and even for all my fishing, I really like to have something very natural. Just as in freshwater, you can use completely extravagant lures when fishing for pike. But at sea, I like to imitate as closely as possible the prey those predators are going to hunt. And as for the species I'm going to target today, at the spots behind me, there will be sea bass, we might find mackerel, pollock, and rasa. I think given the conditions, the churning and the current, I can easily come across sea bass and rasa. Here I have a goby imitation. It's a little gobius from Zman, so it perfectly imitates a goby. There's a concealed hook that will let me work it through the rocks. The idea is to scrape the bottom like this. Because right now, the gobies are coming out, the tide is rising, they're coming out of their hiding spots, and the sea bass and rasa are going to hunt them. That's going to be my first approach. But in my boxes I also have other highly imitative lures. I have other gobies in different colors. I also have shrimp imitations like this, which are really beautiful. I have small jigs that will imitate little shiny fry. I also have the famous rock vibe, as you know, a small soft lure. With very natural colors that will imitate a bit of seaweed. That's what I prefer to use at sea. I'm gonna start on the little bay that's just behind. That's really an amazing spot. There are the breakers, huge waves that come rolling onto the rocky wall there on the two big rocky peaks that you can see. It creates white water and turbulence behind it. Often those are areas that sea bass like for hunting, because all the little smelts and so on, well, they get completely disoriented in the white water. And there are also quite a few rocks. There are mussel beds, seaweed, and those are really perfect feeding areas for predators. So, if I can catch a nice sea bass or a nice rasa, that would really be ideal for a good meal. Let's go for the first cast. Come on, first cast! There, it's really dense. I can cast pretty far. And here the goal is to let the lure sink. Really to touch the bottom. And make a few movements like this. And to make contact with the bottom again. Really to imitate a little goby moving around, crawling among the rocks and algae. Yeah, fish. Oh, missed it. I lost it. First bite on the first cast. Incredible. It was taking drag. I'm gonna try casting a bit more into the white water. Ah, great. Getting a bite is a very good sign. On the very first cast, I wasn't at the bottom then, so it could be a sea bass. In general, they live in schools. There you go, I'm really scraping along the bottom. I can feel the rocks, I can feel the algae. Even so, I'm not getting snagged, even though the lure is heavily weighted. That's what's great about this little go bus. I can really take it anywhere. Ah, the rollers. Ah, look at the foam trail it leaves. I'll aim for the middle. There we go. Magnificent. I'm right in the white water now. Now the sea is really starting to rise. I think in about 15 or 20 minutes, we'll be completely surrounded by the sea. It's going over the concrete blocks. I'll try to cast a bit more towards the calm area over there. Yeah, fish on. Yes! Magnificent!
Yes!
Awesome! First fish! Oh, that's nice. With a goby. Whoa! Ah, I'm so happy. It's such a pleasure to see the sea again. And I managed to catch a nice fish in just 10 minutes of fishing. Well, I already have tonight's meal. It's wonderful. I'm going to put the wrasse in a rock pool. I'm going to keep fishing and see if I can catch some other fish. There are fish that are better to eat, like pollock, like sea bass, or like mackerel. You can catch mackerel from shore too. That's nice. There are fish here. I think there could really be some very big sea bass. It would be incredible to come across one. First fish. And there you go. The goby among the rocks. That didn't take long. Ah, I'm so happy. It's my first fish of the year 2026 at sea. A striking wrasse, nearly 40 centimeters long. There, the tide is really rising very quickly. There you go, it has really beautiful colors. It can be much bigger, but this is really an ideal size fish for a meal. I'm going to unhook it, then we'll go to other spots.
What a joy.
She really took the little goby.
Right at the edge.
There you go, perfect. Magnificent. Really a great fish. There's a nice little tide pool. The idea is to leave it there for now. It's not about needlessly killing fish. And if I catch a nice mackerel, well, I'll release the fish and take the mackerel instead. The goal is to catch a more prized fish for its meat, although wrasse can also be quite good. If I don't catch anything else, at least I know it's there, so the meal is covered. I'm going to set it right here. There we go, great. Perfect. And it gives me a goal, trying to catch other species. And that's cool. There you go, just switching spots a bit. I'm going to cast into the rough water. This is more of a spot that can hold sea bass, maybe even some really big sea bass. I wanted to try this spot before the tide got too high. Magnificent. Ah, that's the turbulence I was telling you about. There, it can really hide some very big sea bass. And here we go. Right in the thick of it. That's it, I think I'm completely surrounded. I think the island is now surrounded by water. The area, it's so beautiful. I'm really happy because, and I'm actually pretty relieved because we've already secured the meal. But still, I'm a fisherman. I'm also here to enjoy myself, to try to find some big fish. Right now, it's just pure happiness. And there's also the whole windy side of the island, which should be worth fishing around dusk. These are entirely different areas. Yeah, fish. Oh, it got off. Right at the edge. I'll cast again. Maybe it wasn't a rasa. Maybe it was a sea bass. I broke it. My leader got cut on a rock. That's part of sea fishing. Well, I have to put another lure on. There you go. Here we go again. Well, that's it. I'm officially on an island. The water's coming in on both sides. And right at the end, I saw two tourists who almost got trapped. That's exactly what I was telling you at the beginning of the video. And I want to take this opportunity to give you a message. What we're doing here is not something you should try to do yourself. We're used to the sea. I made sure to get all the information about the tides before doing this video. It's really just to make a nice video for you. But avoid doing what we're doing here in this video. You can see that from the tourists who almost got trapped. Luckily, the water was only up to their ankles, but they could have easily gone into the bunkers, taken a little walk. And during high tides, it goes very, very fast. The sea rises at an incredible speed. So here I'm in a slightly calmer area. I'm going to try to get a few more bites and catch a few more fish. And then we'll go behind the island, where the big waves are, to focus and try to catch a big sea bass. And we'll go through the bunkers. You'll see, it's special. There's also an amazing story about this place. Here I'm in a much quieter area. This is really the bay by the beach. Controlling the line will be easier now, as some really dangerous waves are starting. And for those who ask me questions every time about the equipment I use, you have all the information below the video in the description. My rod is a favorite Exxon. Fish on. Yes! Well, it's small. I don't know what it is. I was saying my rod is a favorite Exxon, 12 to 40 grams. It's 2 meters 20. Oh! A new species? A new species. A sea bass. Yes. Magnificent. Magnificent. I'm so happy. Here, a small sea bass. My rod is 2.2 meters long. That's what allows me to cast really, really far and reach some really good spots. That let me catch this small sea bass. From the start, you know, one cast on the spot. There we go. It's really lively. Great, there you go, caught with the goby. Well, this one is too small. I'm going to release it. But it's nice to see some sea bass. My first sea bass of the season. Magnificent. Hooked right at the edge, so satisfying. Come on, my beauty. There we go. And he's not alone, they live in schools. I was just telling you about the gear I use. And I'm catching a fish for you at the same time. Incredible. Okay, I just released my sea bass that I caught here. When reeling it in, I felt something rubbing on the line, probably some rocks. That's when the leader line matters most. I have 1 to 2 rod lengths of fluorocarbon in 0.28 millimeters. It's both for discretion and for abrasion resistance, because if the braid rubs against a rock, it'll snap right away. Whereas fluorocarbon is much more resistant to abrasion. I'll cast again where I caught it. I think there are more there. There we go, that's it. It was over there. Here, with the wind, I can easily cast 40 meters. It really allows me to go far. Ah, there are definitely others. A nicer sea base would be nice. I'm also trying to hold the rod higher, to keep the braided line up properly, so it doesn't get caught in the rocks. Wow, I got hit by a wave. Wow! Alright, it's time to move to a different area. I noticed some sea bass near the island. I'm heading to a spot where there might be some big ones. In the big waves on the other side. I can't get through now. The sea has surrounded me. My only option is to go through the bunker to reach the spot on the other side where the big waves are. Let's go. Oh, that's incredible. You can really see the remains of the construction. Yeah, it was reinforced concrete with scrap metal and metal deposits that crumble over time. And above all, the sea, the salt. Wow! There are tags, but there are also things written here that must date back to, I don't know if it's from the war. You should know that these bunkers were built in 1943 by Nazi Germany. And it was really strategic, you know. Really, it was heavily fortified. That must have been for the machine gun. I guess. Wow. The remains. There, that's an old steel door. And there you can see the opening right here. Well, everything is completely rusted now. I looked into the history of this place and I had to tell you about it because it's pretty incredible. Here, on Persay Island, these bunkers were built in 1943, right in the middle of World War II. At that time, the German army turned the entire coast into a defensive line. Even this small island, cut off from the world at high tide, became a strategic point. And when you look closer, you quickly realize that everything was built here, on site. The construction work was constrained by the tides. So, they worked as quickly as possible. The concrete was poured directly on the island, sometimes mixed with materials found on site. I'm thinking especially of the sand on the nearby beach. And reinforced with tons of iron that you can still see sticking out of the walls today. These metal rods were supposed to make the structure indestructible. Today, they're rusting, they're sticking out, as if the bunker is falling apart from the inside. The walls were up to 2 meters thick, thick enough to withstand bombardment. And these armored doors in front of us, they're still here, more than 80 years later. They protected the soldiers from bombardment. And up to 20 of them could live here, locked inside, watching the horizon. Even the camouflage was part of the construction. The outer walls were covered with stones taken directly from the island. so that from a distance the bunkers would blend in with the landscape. Today everything is disappearing. The salt eats away at the concrete, the metal twists. The structures are slowly crumbling, as if the island is gradually taking back what was forced upon it. Ah, there it is, I see some light. Oh yeah! Wow, that's incredible. The sea has really come up now. We're really at the highest point.
In about 30 minutes it'll really be high tide. The sun is starting to set.
All the conditions are here to potentially catch a big sea bass. So now I'm going to fish here until sunset. Really hoping to come across a big specimen. And after that, I'll start cooking a good meal. Ah, the spot is beautiful. I'll have to fish from here because of the strong current and waves. If I go down, it'll be dangerous. The whitewater. I'm going back to where it all started. In the whitewater, fishing for sea bass. That makes me really happy. Come on! Ah, this could be a big one here. So, what I like to do here is a bit different from the fishing I was doing earlier. Here there's so much white water that I'm actually going to intentionally leave some slack in my line, lose control of my line, so the lure gets tossed around in the white water. It will actually move around in the current. And it's in those moments that, in my opinion, it really imitates prey that's in a bit of distress, completely lost in the current, in the foam. And well, the sea bass actually just have to come and pick them up. I've fished like that many times and triggered big sea bass. See, I'm letting it wander on the bottom. And often when I make contact again, there's a fish. It's a bit counterintuitive since they say you must always control the line. And anyway, it's a little technique I've noticed that works really well. Especially in white water like that, in the pockets right ahead. We're fishing straight down. We really imitated prey that's completely lost and disoriented. Wow. Wow. It's time to enjoy ourselves and move on to the best part. So now, a little rasa prep. A simple little Breton recipe. Here I have my fish, my rasa.
I have garlic, butter, salt, and pepper.
And I have my little gas stove. The recipe is simple. I'll fillet the fish. I'm going to take the garlic, I'm going to crush it, I'm going to mix it with butter. And I'm going to cook the fillets skin side down to really preserve the flesh.
I'll add salt and pepper at the end of cooking.
And then it will be time for tasting. Let's get started with the cooking. I've removed both fillets, turned on the stove, and I'm heating the pan. There we go, right on top. And now I'm going to have to crush my garlic. Oh, garlic butter, it smells so good.
Alright, the pan's hot. I can add the fillets now.
I'm going to lower the heat a little to cook on low heat. Now I'm going to put in this first fillet. There we go. I left the scales on since I didn't have time. The best way with wrasse is to scale it and cook it with the skin on. Here, it'll cook fine with the scales on, but you'll have to be careful when tasting it not to get any scales on your fork. Alright, there we go. It's already cooking. So here the fillet is quite thin, so it's going to cook pretty quickly. In a few minutes, it's going to be ready. I can already add some salt and pepper to the flesh. Magnificent. Ah, you can't smell it, but right now I hear the sea and smell the fish. Alright, it's time to put on the second fillet because there are two of us. Alexandre, behind the camera, also deserves his fish. I'll put it on after since it's thinner, so it's gonna cook a bit faster. Ah, now that's beautiful. There you go. The fish, it's cooked. Alright, Alexandre, I think you can come and enjoy your meal. You really deserve it after today.
Ah, yes, that's one of the little perks of being behind the scenes.
Exactly. Well, here is Alexandre. Maybe some of you have already seen him in, well, some videos. But he's the one behind, well, all the behind the scenes work, all those beautiful shots. Actually, for all the work you don't see that goes into the videos, he's the one doing the framing and editing. We also have other editors on the team. And it also makes me happy, well, to introduce him to you over this nice meal.
It also makes me happy to meet you over this nice meal, like you said.
Well, I hope it's going to be good. A little Breton recipe, wrasse filet with salted butter.
Well, this is a first for me.
And with garlic? Well, you'll tell me what you think about it.
There we go.
There you go. The meat holds up pretty well.
Anyway, visually, it's already a treat.
I'll put this here for you. Watch out, there are scales below.
Great, no problem.
I'm gonna make us a little sauce with butter and garlic. I just have to do this. A good chunk of butter, because we're not Breton for nothing.
I've seen bigger chunks of butter than this. It's gotten a lot slimmer since then. That's mainly for the rice, to keep it from drying out.
For the rice, and then to put back over the fish.
Yeah.
Well, while that's being done, I suggest you have a taste.
Oh, well, I'd love to. I'm going to taste the fish without rice, just to really get the true flavor of the wrasse as it really is.
Alright, moment of truth. So, wrasse in general is a fish that's a bit overlooked from a taste perspective. Often, well, we think of sea bass, pollock, mackerel and wrasse. We don't really talk about it much. Even though it's a great fish and can be delicious when well prepared. And here the flesh holds together pretty well. Alright,
Well, cheers.
cheers. It's good.
It's really good.
It's very good.
It's true, it's completely different. The texture of the flesh, I mean.
In general, it doesn't really hold together.
It's a discovery. I've heard a lot about wrasse in soup, you know?
Yeah, it's the fish typically used in soup, or so they say.
And yet, well, here you see it's a real treat. Yeah,
Can you feel how the flesh is? It's almost melting.
yeah.
Well, often the mistake is cooking it over too high a heat or for too long. So it ends up turning to mush in the oven.
Yeah, well,
That's why it's rarely used. It falls apart. And here it's not too bad, cooked over low heat on the scales. The flesh isn't ruined. It's really, really good.
yeah, great. You did a great job filleting it. No bones, that's nice.
You don't have any bones there, right?
No.
Great. And wait, the sauce is coming.
Ah, well, I won't hurry then.
Feel free to let us know in the comments if you like this kind of format. A bit simpler. Actually, it's even a record for us. We shot a video in barely 10 hours.
Yeah, we really appreciate your feedback. I really enjoy reading your comments and replying to you. Alexandra does too. We always check all your messages.
So feel free to tell us if you want to see this kind of format again, and if you have any other ideas as well.
And well, we're going to continue our meal.
We're going to enjoy it because afterwards, we'll have to wait a few hours before we can escape from the island.
That's right. Well, I think it's
2 o'clock in the morning.
2 in the morning. It was 1 o'clock before, now it's 2.
Around 1 or 2 in the morning usually.
That's not good news.
Come on, that's good news. That's the sauce.
Magnificent.
All right, Alex. That's it. We made it through.
Yes, mission accomplished.